There is a military doctrine that no government officially admits exists. No documents, no formal policy, no confirmation. And yet, world leaders, intelligence agencies, and military strategists all behave as if it's real. A last resort plan so extreme that if it were ever used, it wouldn't just end a war, it might end everything. This is what's known as the Samson Option. Welcome back to Speakeasy Secrets, the spilling tea segment where we uncover the stories that live in the shadows, the ones no one officially confirms, but no one can quite ignore either. I'm your host, Colleen, and tonight we're talking about a doctrine that sits somewhere between strategy, myth, and quiet terror. A doctrine tied to one of the most secretive nuclear programs in the world, and a single chilling idea that if we go down, you go down with us. The Samson Option is believed to be a last resort nuclear strategy attributed to Israel. The idea is this: if Israel were ever facing total destruction, not just defeat, but annihilation, it would respond with overwhelming nuclear force. Not just against one enemy, potentially against many. The goal wouldn't be to win. The goal would be to ensure no one else survives the victory. In the most stripped down terms, if Israel falls, it will not fall alone. The name itself is not subtle. It comes from the story of Samson, a figure from the Bible. He was captured by his enemies, blinded, humiliated. Samson is brought into a temple as a kind of living trophy. And in his final moment, he places his hands on the pillars holding the structure up and pulls. The building collapses, kills himself, and thousands of his enemies with him. That's the metaphor. Not survival, not escape, but mutual destruction. Now here's where things get strange. Israel has a long-standing approach called nuclear ambiguity. They do not confirm having nuclear weapons, but they don't deny it either. And that's intentional because ambiguity creates power. If your enemies know that you have nukes, they react one way. If they suspect that you have nukes, but they don't know how many or how you would even use them, they hesitate. They second guess. They assume the worst. And that's the point. The Samson Option exists entirely in that space. It is not officially declared, not publicly documented, not clearly defined, and yet it is widely discussed by analysts as if it's real and credible. And here's why it works and why it's terrifying. Because at its core, this isn't about weapons, it's about psychology. The Samson Option is not meant to be used, it's meant to be believed. Because if your enemy truly believes that pushing you too far will trigger total, uncontrollable destruction, then they may never push that far at all. It's what strategists call deterrence through catastrophe. The threat is so extreme, so disproportionate, that if it stops conflict before it reaches that point. But there's a catch. Deterrence only works if everyone involved acts rationally. And history has shown that assumption is not always safe. No one has ever confirmed the Samson Option, but there are moments, there are stories, there are signals that it exists. During the 1967 Six-Day War, some reports suggested that Israel considered a nuclear demonstration if defeat seemed imminent. Then there's the 1979 Vela incident, a mysterious double flash detected over the ocean, consistent with a nuclear test. Some analysts have long suspected Israeli involvement, though nothing was ever proven. And in modern conflicts, especially with rising tensions involving Iran, the idea resurfaces again and again like a shadow that never quite disappears. And here's the uncomfortable truth of it. If the Samson Option were ever real and ever used, it wouldn't just kill millions. It could trigger regional collapse, global escalation, possibly even nuclear war beyond its initial targets. And yet, from another perspective, Supporters argue it's precisely this fear that has helped prevent catastrophic wars in the first place. It's the ultimate paradox, a plan for destruction that may exist only to prevent it. So what is the Samson option really? A doctrine, a myth, a bluff, or something far more dangerous? Because sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't the one that's confirmed, it's the one that might exist, and the uncertainty that no one can afford to test. If you enjoyed this episode of Speakeasy Secrets, follow the show and come back next time when we pull back the curtain on yet another story that lives just outside the official record. Until then, stay curious, my friends, and maybe please don't pull down the pillars. Have a great night.